I think it's in. Hello, they had show. Oh shit. Oh my god. Totally, totally, totally didn't do this shit right. Ah, hello. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. Hello, guys. How's it going? This is my first time going live here on what is this thingy dingies? On YouTube. Se me fue, no manches. What the fuck? What was I gonna say? Well, I got on earlier, but honestly, like, I was on TikTok at the same time, so I I didn't really engage much here, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for those of you that have been watching my videos, that have been engaging. If you guys have been watching the whole generational trauma, um I guess like series, like whatever nonsense that I brought out. The whole point is to possibly, if I get myself to do it, if I have the energy to do it, the deal is to make a podcast so that you guys don't have to watch me on video and don't have to see my ugly face. You could just listen to me. Um, and I just want to say that, like, whatever it is that you're keeping yourself from doing, why? I want to know why. Why are you not doing it today? What is that one thing that that is holding you back? And why are you letting it hold you back? Like, hello, they had shown. Ah, he said the name of the show. My wife is here, so I'm not talking to myself. I'm not schizophrenic, I promise. I'm a little weird. That's about it. But a lot of people don't realize the amount of trauma that we have and how we take it with us everywhere we go, and how we sometimes allow it to rule our relationships in a way. Um, how it can also interfere with work in a sense, and how all those times that you probably think like, well, people just don't like me. How maybe it wasn't the people, maybe it was you. Huh? Maybe it was you this whole time. Hmm? And nobody told you that. That's why I'm here to tell you. It was you. No, it wasn't you guys. It's everybody else and their mama. I'm kidding, guys. It was totally you. Um, but I think YouTube is a little weird. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't have like that much. Like I don't know what to do here. What do I do with my hands, guys? Guys, I just want you to be happy, please. Stop doubting yourself because you're not helping anybody. That's Pickles barking. He's like a kid. He likes to bark whenever he knows that there's people on the phone, whenever he knows that I'm doing a video, whenever he knows that Frida is sleeping, whenever he knows that we're going to be found if somebody makes a noise. He's the one that's going to give us away. He's going to give our spot away and he's going to get us caught all the time. Yes, guys. Pickles. Pinche madre, ¿por qué está ladrando?
It's barking at something outside.
Another trucker, man. But the point of this space is to mainly have a space for you guys to vent, because you know what? Everybody's going through it. We're getting to an age where we're starting to be, we're getting at an age, guys, where we're getting old, guys. We're getting old, and we start to feel a little bit too much now. Ah, you're here, Vero. ¿Ves? Para que veas. Para que veas, Vero. este. And we don't realize that. I mean, we're so busy taking care of everybody else that we don't even realize what the fuck we like. We don't realize who we are, because our whole life revolves around everybody else, right? And think about it, guys. I talk about female energy a lot. And the reason for that is because femininity, anemone, anemone, your femininity is the source of all your powers. What if I told you that you can like totally rebuild your future? Because you know what you're supposed to do. You know better what you're supposed to do. Let me tell you. You can feel it in your gut. You know that you should be doing something else. Yes, it's like that. Care for everyone and do so much. Igual lindo, Winnie. Well, you know what, boo boo? What if I told you that you need to stop being so scared? Because that's all it is. It's fear. And what are you scared of? Like, your twins are all grown up. Your oldest son is he's already a man. I hope you're not a grandma already. And you just have your little man. He's like a little version of you. He's so adorable. He was your little miracle baby, right? Think about it. You wanted a baby because you got baby fever, and then you got your baby, didn't you? That was totally you, mamas. That was totally you. That was totally you doing all the work because you focused on it. You really wanted something and you set your mind to it. Yes. You set your mind to it and you got it done. And you know what? All those things that you're kind of like putting off because you say you don't have time, because you say you don't have money, whatever excuses we tell ourselves, right? I remember I used to put off like school because I used to say like, oh, I don't have time to go to school. I don't have time to. I don't even want to know what I want to learn. Y esta morra, no, fucking 4 careers later. Let me tell you, I flunked out of school hard. I went back to college in 2021. I think it was 2021, and I haven't finished my career. My career could have been like, it was supposed to be a short career, but I kept changing it because I wasn't satisfied. And now I can honestly say that I'm like really happy with what I'm doing, and I'm maybe falling behind again because I'm a procrastinator, but I've been wanting to do these videos for a long time because I always wondered like I can't be the only one that is going through this shit. Like, you got to give me a break. And then you start seeing all these synchronicities, you start seeing all these numbers. You think about somebody and then they call or they message you, or that song that you were just thinking about starts playing. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but it happens to me a lot. And if you really think about it, what happens when we are nervous about a situation, right? We start thinking about all the negative, most impossible situations that can happen, right? We say, um, moderation. What the fuck? What the fuck? We random question. Money is there if you need to and wants to know what happened to your rat. Oh, my little girls are so old now. They better not be having boyfriends, eh? Let me tell you. Well, now I have a turtle. Ratatouille passed away, and then I had Domo, and then I had a little brown one. But I had a total of three rats, and the one that Moni saw was Ratatouille, if I'm not mistaken. And Ratatouille passed away. My mom left him. It's gonna sound horrible, but it was really hot. And let me go out of the frame. Can't be showing these things on screen. It was really hot, and she left them outside. Not outside, but she left them like in the kitchen where there was no AC. And yeah, he passed away. But one of my ex coworkers found a turtle. Her name's Conchita, and she comes out and she's like, "Where's my food?" And she loves, like, she doesn't eat her food until like I feed her in her mouth. You know, I have to, like, she likes the crunchy lettuce, and she likes cucumbers. She's a big fan of zucchinis. And now I just have pickles. Pickles, come here, puppy. Vente, puppy. Ven, papiro. Y le gusta que le haga tingiri dingiri dingiri ding. Dingiri 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 ding. Dingiri dingiri dingi. Vente, puppy. Vente, dingiri dingi. Wait, wait, wait. Eso es el pickler si le gusta que le hagan tingiri dingi. ¿Ah? Tingiri dingiri ding. Dingiri. Dingiri 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 ding. Eso. Y tengo pues al Satanás. Pero el Picles, mira, el Picles hace la cara de mamón, se ríe cuando... Ahí ya sabe que están hablando de él. Y lo saca así un dentillo mamón. Y hace su cara así de... Tiene cara de Chico o de Paco. Pero no, se llama Picles. Como toda una mexicana. Oh, sí. Le tuve que enseñar el tingiri-dingi. Tingiri-dingiri-ding. Tingiri-dingiri-ding. Tingiri-dingiri-dingiri. Y a ver, se emociona con el tingiri-dingi. Tingiri-ding. O luego el Fígaro le tengo que cantar, le tengo que decir Fígaro. Y ya viene corriendo la gatilla. Because I found a cat too, so I have two cats. Now, because I still have Chino Moreno. I still have the cat that I got from you. Vero, did I tell you Vero was the one that gave me that cat? Well, her cats at her mom's house had kitties. It was around Christmas. I want to say it was around Christmas. Chino was not yet to be given away, but I got him. He was a little crybaby. Y yo no sabía, Vero, que le tenía que sobar sus little pipis para que saliera la pipí. Y pues nunca se lo sobé. But he lived. He's still good. He's a little fatty. Le encanta que lo abracen. Él es un niño. Él es el Chino Moreno y le gusta que lo abracen. Es todo moreno. ¿Sabes que me la hacían burla? Oh yeah, it's been very long. He's fat as fuck too. I used to take him to get groomed, and they used to make fun of him because he has a weird nose. As you know, he has a weird nose. He has like a human nose. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know how cats are like a little triangle? Well, Chino's is like a person's nose. I don't know how. He's a sweetheart though. My other cat doesn't know she's a cat. And Chino looks at her, and he was kind of confused at first because he's like, I've never seen a cat before. What is this? They both wag their tails when they're happy. El Chino y Fígaro. Y el Chino le gusta hacer growl. Y luego he nibbles on her ear como en la noche. Es bien culero. He gets mad. Like, this is gonna be gross. I shouldn't be telling you guys this. Pero es bien culero porque it's like he's a little fatty, you know? He's fat as fuck. ¿Dónde está el pinche chino? Acá, ¿dónde está el pinche chino?
¿Quién está dormido ahí?
He's somewhere, he's a blob. Pero el compa tiene sus horas para desayunar, ¿no? And if you don't feed him, because I usually wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, so if it's 4:30 and I'm not up, he'll go and he'll like lay right next to my ear, and then he's like, and then he's like nibbling on my ear and shit. And if we get up late, he will piss on the bed. He's a dick. And it's like his litter box is fine, you know? Pero se enoja. If we don't, he's a sweetheart, but si no le hacemos caso en ese rato, se enoja. And he's like, oh, me moviste. Pues toma. And he already got his little, because he used to have little balls, but they looked like little fuzzy fuzz balls because they were black. They're so cute. But then we had to take him off because he was pissing all over the place. But yeah, he's a character, man. Él es bien regalado con todos. Una vez se quiso salir, pero estaba muy gordo, so he couldn't jump the fence, so he gave up. But I still have that motherfucker. That's crazy. I think from my pets that you know of, the only one that I still have is Chino, my Chino Moreno. Ah, ya me entretuve aquí, ¿no? No, y pues fíjate, Vero. Ah, no, sí. This one's just for you, Vero. No, but pretty much all that I talk about is how you guys really need to change your state of mind because we all have a purpose. We all have a life contract that we signed. And the fact that you're questioning where you are right now is a calling or it's a pull. It's something that's telling you that you need to get moving because you're overstayed your welcome in that timeline. There's another version of you somewhere else that already made a decision. And then here you are in this timeline, still stuck wondering if you should. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. And in all honesty, I mean, if you've already gone through the worst, this is the way that I started to see it. There was many times that I wanted to die. There's many times that I tried to die. And there's many times that I was like, fuck, I don't even talk to my family to the point that I could die here today and they wouldn't even find out because it would take that long for me to not talk to my family members. And they're okay with that. That's the weird part. That my mom is like, normalizes it. And it's weird because now that I'm more conscious of myself, I find myself having more issues with my mom. I don't explode on her as often, but I am disappointed more often because I find myself realizing that the reason why I feel like I have all these mommy issues is because I had this idea of my mom. I remember when my mom and I used to like be really close. I remember I couldn't go to sleep at somebody else's house because I needed my house. Just knowing that my mom was in the other room was more than enough. I remember when my mouse. I remember when my parents came to live over here, they went to go live in Riverside, I want to say, or Bullhead. And they first left together, and my brother and I were with my aunt, my grandma, I'm sorry. Pero nos encargó con una de mis tías, ¿no? So my aunt had to wear a shirt that my mom left her. I remember it was this burgundy shirt or like a rosa fuchsia. Kind of like, I just want to show off my candy Uchis now. But kind of like this like this color, this right here. And then it had like this, it was like one of those 90s. It had like a doll on a hat. And you can only see like the bottom of her face, right? And My aunt had to wear that. She had to place her arm a certain way so that I can fall asleep. Because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't go to sleep. And then when the abuse happened, I shut down. I kind of like I started to see things a little bit different. I started to think, oh well, fuck, everybody should know because I know that it at that age I would be like, this isn't just coming from something that you're trying to explore. Like this is something that is learned. And for a long time, I shut it out. Right? I figured that if I didn't talk about it, nobody was gonna find out, and that I was gonna be fine. That I could just shut it out. But I wasn't fine because it affected me in so many ways and in so many levels that I didn't even know until I became conscious about it. And the thing is that it's not easy because you start making connections. You start making connections into seeing why your insecurities are, or even why your sex life is a certain way. And it's not the reason why I became gay. I was gay way before that, let me tell you. Um, but it makes you see people for who they really are. Why? Because I shut it out and I was like, I'm not going to talk about this because at one point I did want to talk about it when I wasn't as stable as I am now. I'm not 100%. I can't say I know it all because I don't. This is like a whole journey that I'm going through and that I'm sharing with you guys because I want you guys to feel confident. I want you guys to see that we're always used to seeing the good things, right? The people that have already crossed their paths, that have already did the work, and they're telling you how good life is, right? But you never see those people struggling. You never see those people living in the moment and being like, fuck, like right now, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Right now, I don't have a job. Right now, um, I didn't want to have a job for a while because I wanted to focus on something that I found purpose, because I wanted to help people, because I found myself in a place for almost for 10 years, let's say 9 years, 10 years. I don't know how long. What was it? 9 years? 25. It was going to be 10 years. Um, and it was like a six-figure job. I was paying my bills, more money, more problems, right? Because I was paying my bills and I still didn't have enough. And then I decided to just cut down and make less, way less than what I was making, half of what my hour wage was. And and then I didn't really have enough. And then I learned to live with less. And then I realized that half of my debt was because I was trying to impress people, not because I was trying to make myself happy. Because I was trying to be in a timeline or in a state of of life or in a place in life that other people were already way ahead of me at. And that's what we're always doing. We're always trying to compete with each other, and we're so wrapped up in the material things that we miss the moment. People want to work themselves to death on a job that is probably causing them more stress than it does happy moments, right? Why not find purpose in yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to turn all my downfalls into something that's going to build me, because that's not the person that I am. Because I'm going to prove these motherfuckers wrong. That's the best revenge you can have without hurting anybody and actually doing something good for yourself. Because if you think about it, when you hold resentment, I used to hold a lot of resentment. I used to I used to hate people, and hate is a very strong word. But I hated the fact that I could care so much about people, but people didn't care one bit about me, and that I still cared. And it didn't matter in what version they showed up. It could be a family member, it could be anybody. But I was so used to always giving it my all because I would always think like they're gonna do the same for me. And it's never that way. My boss used to tell me, well, I thought Mexicans had this saying that you should never give all your money and all your love. And I was like, what? Like, to me, people having their finances separated baffles me. That blows my mind. Because it's like, in my mind, if you're a partner or if you're a couple, Whatever finances you have affect me, and whatever finances I have affect you. So whenever people tell me that there's like a, well, that's his business type of deal, like that blows my mind. But anyways, everybody has their own ideas, their own ways of managing themselves. And maybe that's the proper way to do it, because maybe you're with somebody that doesn't handle things right. I don't know. It's not financially stable, or probably doesn't know how to handle finances. I'm not good at math. I'm really bad at math, actually. but but I found myself in a place where I was making good money, but I was miserable. And you can see that shit at my house. You can see that I didn't want to socialize. I became stuck in this routine where it was straight to my job, straight home. I didn't have enough energy to socialize on the weekends, even if I had the weekend off, because I wanted to rest. And then when I was at work, I was daydreaming about a life that I wish I had, the time that I wish I had, that I wish I could sit on my computer and do my schoolwork and this and that. And then I ended up in this job where I had more free time, and I still wanted more free time. And then I took advantage of the laid backness of the job. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing job. I got to meet amazing people. I got to work with amazing people. I got to experience or learn new things and new ways to help people. And I realized, you know what? Here in Yuma, we fuck ourselves over. The same people, they're the people who are supposed to have your back, are the same people that fuck you over. La misma raza nos jodemos, la neta. And we're in this fucking bad hourly wage nonsense where either you have to have a degree, you have to know who or where or what, because in reality, we're too scared, or the owners in town are too scared to expand their perspective and to advance the way that society is advancing. So we create nepotism in the work environment. And unfortunately, that roots from our personal beliefs, that roots from your household. How does that even root to like the abuse? Well, because somebody that is abusive and that is not liable to consequences is probably going to take that shit outside of their house. It's going to do it outside too. I decided to speak up because I was like, you know what? I'm here living in misery, wondering my self worth constantly, if I'm ever going to be enough, always giving myself away before I know if this person is worth it or not. Always trusting the wrong people and always being too exhausted to do anything for myself. Well, you know what? Not today, Satan. I was like, if I'm gonna be crazy, we're all gonna be crazy up in this bitch. We're all gonna have some fun. Let me share some of the cooties. So I spoke up. Y dicho y hecho, ¿no? I spoke up, and what happened? No, hombre, pues tómalas. Que la Rocío dijo, and then it was like, well, if Rocío was already cool, why do we gotta know? Why, si ella y fulanito ya están bien, ¿para qué nos tienen que decir? And I'm over here like, that's my aunts and uncles saying this shit. The people that I grew up with. Well, no wonder I didn't feel safe as a child to speak up. But I started making connections into, okay, I react this way because you know what? My mom was too busy with these other, because in reality, our culture is not an attentive culture that is going to teach you your ABCs, is going to teach you your colors. You learn that shit at school. I can count the times that my mom did my homework with me. Um, but I know that I really wanted to learn English when I came over here. And one of my aunts, my tia Mayra, um, her and my tia Pati would give me like English lessons. They would come over to the house and they would teach me little shit in English and whatnot. And I was so excited to learn. But my mom didn't have the patience to do it, even though she had a book to teach me, because I mean, it's not how she grew up. And we grew up so angry. We grew up angry that we didn't have the attention. I grew up angry as fuck that my dad decided to do all this other shit that I went through this and that. I'm always told that I'm crazy. And even if I'm taking care of my mental health, I'm told that I'm crazy, but yet again, nobody acknowledges that the environment I grew up with in is what made me crazy or is what causes mental health issues. And that we're all a little fucking crazy up in this bitch. We just don't acknowledge it. And I have the courage to say, you know what, guys, I think I need a little bit of help because my mind's a little scattered. And then when I did get the help I needed, I realized, damn, well, everybody decided to stay blind to certain things because they weren't comfortable with the reality of things. And it's a sad truth. I mean, you start to realize that the people that you grew up with admiring, the people that you grew up with loving your whole life, that you have all these memories of, are cowards. I mean, there's no other word to put it. That we keep passing on this comfort of silence, this comfort of, well, don't inconvenience others, so you gotta swallow your feelings and live with it. Now, that alone answers my question as to why my mom stayed a little too long with my dad, right? And why I probably stayed a little too long in situations that I shouldn't have. And if you think about it, we're all fucking adults having a tantrum. We're all adults just trying to make it through the day, but we're never thinking about ourselves. There's couples that stay together because of the kids, but who the fuck are you fooling, bro? Your kids know that you don't love your wife or that you don't love your husband. And what are you teaching them? To suck it up and stay because your parents stayed, so you're going to look like a failure if you don't stay. Or because your mom stayed with your dad when your dad was an asshole and you didn't leave. Or they didn't leave either. You wonder why, our parents wonder why our kids, or why we make the mistakes we make. My mom wondered for the longest time why I reacted the way I did. But now that I'm starting to be more conscious of myself, I'm realizing, oh shit, I'm just reacting based on the lessons I was taught. I was taught to always suck it up. Until I started to question, well, what does that person think about when they're saying something rude to me? Are they thinking about how they're making me feel? Because I know my mom told me I had to think about how I'm going to disrupt the whole piece. But whose peace am I keeping? Because it's not my peace. And the truth of the matter is, nobody, you need to learn to love yourself first before you try to love somebody else. Why? Because when you set yourself boundaries, when you start setting yourself and giving yourself respect, people start to see you different. There's going to be people that are going to be mad about it. That's normal. Why? Because people don't like to see the role that they play in your life, or they don't like to be told what they already know. I know that I get confrontational sometimes when somebody tells me that I'm not doing something. Why? Because I'm already beating myself up for it. Like I've told my mom, you know, the first thing she says to me is, I don't know, she blames me for something I didn't do or whatever. Or because she thinks I'm a crackhead, whatever the fuck. And it's like, okay, mom, I'm tired of arguing because I explode every time, but I realize if I am angry when I answer her, she's not hearing me. She's just hearing this angry voice. She's just hearing yelling, right? She's not listening to what I'm trying to give her or the message that I'm trying to send. So I finally said it calmly. You know what, mom? And I'm sure I said about this in another video. I told her, you know what? I love you. I hear you. I respect what you're saying. I can't change you, mama, but you got to trust me on this. I know myself more than anybody. And when you come at me with those things, like you're telling me something I'm already fighting against, so I'm not going to take it as you caring about me. I know it comes from a good place, but I see it as criticism. You can help me in telling me, hey, I'm proud of you. Or what are you doing? How are you? Ask me something different. Don't remind me how I'm lacking because I already hear that too much from myself. I already got my little voice in my head that tells me that, mama. You ain't got to tell me to. And it's sad because it's a good thing when you start to be conscious about the way you behave and does your anger come from. Because think about it. We get angry at things, right? Right now with how society is. What are we really angry about? What excuses are we making to say it's okay for what's going on in the government right now? And at this point, like, where does our morality stand when we defend certain people? That blows my mind. I don't go for either side, but it's like at some point we got to put a line. We got to draw a line, right? We follow blindly and we never question, like, are these my beliefs? Where the fuck did I learn this from? Where does this feeling come from? Just because your parents are racist doesn't mean you have to be racist, or just because your parents are alcoholic doesn't mean you have to be alcoholic. And you can't hate them for your outcome either, because they only did what they knew. My dad was a very unstable human being, and that's probably where I get most of my anxiety from, because he used to piss me off so that he could get a reaction out of me so that he can beat me up later. The last time, or the last argument that we had, I was watching TV. I was watching The Simpsons in the living room. When we got home, he got a shower. By the time he was going to get out of the shower, my mom was already cooking. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to my mama's room and watch TV because homeboy's going to watch whatever nonsense he watches here, right? I was like 9 or 10. And go to his room. He comes in. He thinks I'm a fucking mind reader or something. Maybe he knew I had powers. I don't know. But he comes in and he turns off the TV. Doesn't say a word. I'm like, what the fuck? In my mind, homie is always just doing his normal business that he's always fucking doing, which is making my life miserable, right? So I'm like, okay. So I turn on the TV. He comes back and turns it off. I guess I'm supposed to fucking read minds, right? Well, like the third time he comes back, I'm like, bro, pinche pelón, casi le decía. No le dije pinche, pero le dije, hey, like, déjame en paz, por favor. Quiero mirar la tele, maldición. And I shut the door in his face. Obviously, I yelled at him because I was already frustrated. Don't fuck with me, bitch. I'm trying to watch my show. It's only 30 minutes, and you've already wasted 15 minutes of my life. He comes back in, pissed off, starts to hit me with the belt. He hit me in the belt, with the belt. I was crying. I was like, Ma. And then everybody, I guess it turned into this huge argument. That my mom came into the room. We were all in my room. And then my dad pulled my mom's hair because she was like, Ricardo, ¿qué le estás haciendo a la niña? And I don't know if he was on crack or what the fuck, but he pulled her hair and then he did the whole, no te metas. When I saw that, oof, that just broke my heart. It wasn't even a hit, but the fact that he disrespected her that way was just like, I wanted to beat him up. Mind you, I was a fucking little punilla. Pinche Willia. And to this day, like, I would have fucking beat him up. And I remember my mom was like cradling me, crying, and I was like, "Can we just leave, mom? Like, I don't want to be here anymore." I was like, "I just hate him. Like, why did you have to marry him? Why did you have to pick him to be my dad?" And I remember I would ask her that all the time, and it's like, "Well, Rocio, like, how are you gonna?" I would rather be born from the fucking trash, I would tell her, than to be his fucking daughter. And I think that was one of the resentments that my grandparents had for me from my dad's side because I was never shy about that. I didn't give a fuck who was around. I'm gonna tell you what I feel about my dad. And I hated that when he died, they try to bring up like he was a good man. No, he was not. He was a piece of fucking shit. But you know what? Seeing a picture of him being all little and whatnot makes me feel sad for him because my grandparents weren't the best parents. They never hugged him, they never showed him love. They thought that showing him love was like hitting him or disciplining him. So in reality, my dad was only mimicking what my grandparents had taught him. That was his way of showing love. And ironically, right now, the family that's probably the closest is his side of the family than my other side of the family. Because in my mom's side of the family, apparently they're pedos and everybody's been pedophied and and it's better to continue because this was the last conversation I had my mom with. I was bothered because, mind you, I've been wanting pozole for fucking months before the holidays started. But my mom seems to have pozole every fucking time that they have parties where I'm not invited because since I don't talk to my sister, it's more convenient to not invite me, to me that I'm the issue and I'm the one that speaks up, and to not invite my sister, right? Because she has her kid and whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck, fucking hoe. So for Christmas, my mom had made plans, even though she knew I was going to stay here in Yuma. She had Christmas at her house, which I obviously was not invited because she assumed that I never want to hang out with people. I mean, it was more. It was the reality of it was that she was more comfortable in avoiding and having an argument with me that she doesn't live with me, rather than having an argument with my sister that she lives with, right? And then fast forward to New Year's. Well, she didn't do anything. Um, and it's crazy because she hasn't been able to go out to Mexico because she lost her ID, and I probably seen her twice when my brother in Mexico would see her like every other weekend. But in her eyes, I live in the past because I talk about what happened. So they got together. I guess they got together for Dia de Reyes, and then on February 2nd or whatever, and they're supposed to do the whole Dia de Niño thing. Well, they got together, and they were making pozole, and that pissed me off because I was like, you know what, mom? You always tell me how my uncle doesn't acknowledge it, and he's still talking to my other uncle. But then you tell me that you love me and that you support me and that you believe me. So why do you go if you know that they don't have like the same views? Like, and I'm not saying because I feel like you need to stop talking to them, mom. I was like, but if you guys obviously don't stand in the same thing or in the same place, I'm your daughter. I would think that you would feel uncomfortable going, right? And if I'm wrong for thinking that, then by all means tell me. I don't mind being told I'm wrong. She was like, well, we don't even talk about that. Like, you just always want to live in the past. Like, I don't even want to, we don't even discuss you at all. I was like, okay. I was like, so then you would rather go? She's like, well, it's something to do. I was like, okay, so then it's something to do. So you rather go and make pozole again after I ask you multiple times and you're always saying how it's so disgusting. Um, so it's better to just go and socialize because it's something to do than to be true to yourself and what you believe in. And that's kind of where I'm going at with this whole story. That if I believe in something, I'm not going to just go and. That if you decide to do something, don't fucking go back on your word. Because that right there is creating doubt. And it's creating that one, it's ripping that timeline that you're starting to create of this new version of yourself. Because you're allowed, it's like with the government again, right? It's like, okay, only certain people are criminals. And that's how, kind of what you're doing right now. It's like, okay, so only certain boundaries are allowed to be broken, right? No. I have family members that reached out that said that they were with me and that have reached out and that we still keep contact, and I don't need them here every day because life happens and I understand that. And to be honest, my neurodivergency doesn't allow me to like socialize 24/7 as I used to. Now I'm okay in being by myself and in silence because it helps me analyze. What I would recommend is start analyzing. Start analyzing the moment that you get nervous. What Ask yourself, what's making me anxious? Is it the situation? Or if you start to do something that you were scared to try, because let me ask you, what are you losing if it's not another fucking year? I was talking about that on TikTok right now, how you're just accumulating years. It's another year you didn't do what you wanted to do. Well, no, it's not just another year. That's already 10 years that you have added onto you, papas. Like, it's not just fucking 1 year. And that's 10 years that you're behind on the life that you should already have. You know how we attract bad juju when you're like, ay, no, es que de seguro va a pasar esto, porque mi mamá me dijo. Or your mom tells you don't go porque seguro va a pasar esto, and then your mom is already throwing it out there, right? But what if you throw positive things? What if you already started acting like you own it? I had a friend, but I'm pretty sure you remember. I just talked to Alejandra. She was going through it. She's like, girl, like you were a bitch before. You're a fucking asshole. Y ahora, like, you're all spiritual talk. And I was like, you know what? I learned a lot from my mistakes, and I either had the choice of being angry all the time and being miserable or letting it go because at the end of the day, it's like when you have road rage. You end up getting mad to work, but the other person didn't even fucking know que se lo estaba rayando, you know? They're fine. They don't even know you. They're like, segue if they saw you. Because let me tell you guys, people be honking at me and I don't even know who that is. I'm turning into the lane that I'm supposed to be in. It's not my problem you don't know how to turn into your lane. Ah, that really grinds my gears. But that's another story. And she's like, you know what? You're right. Man, she's like, it's really cool to talk to you and to hear you and like you sound really at peace. I'm like, well, I'm not. I'm a whole fucking mess. I'm a box of surprises. I'm a box of chocolates. You know what you're gonna get. But I accept it. I'm not trying to be perfect. Wabi sabi. Why? Because I learned to see the beauty and the imperfections that I carry. Because if I didn't have this imperfection within me, I wouldn't have learned so much. An older person that's only had one partner cannot tell me shit about life. I let go of material. I don't have my Jeep anymore. My Jeep was my pride and joy. And I let that shit go before I lost my job. Thank God. Because I was looking at it and I was like, shit, it's a little fucking street princess. I don't even use it for what it's for. I don't even get to enjoy it anymore. Ya no me llama la atención to have it all souped up. No. I drive a 2002 Kia. A Kia. Doesn't even have like fucking a little clicker. A clicker, I felt old. Calling me on the phone, and I'm right here. One time, my coworker was calling like a customer, and then he's like, "Hey, Miss, blah blah blah," and then she comes into the office. She's like, "You're calling me on the phone, and I'm right here." It was funny. It was a be there moment. But yeah, guys, we all go through this shit, and the first thing you got to do is start choosing for yourself because nobody knows what you need, nobody knows your darkest secrets but you, and you know what you're carrying. And in reality, inside of you there's this little kid, there's this little girl, this little boy that is so needy and that is craving to be held, that is craving to feel like a kid again, to have a choice, to be heard. I started treating people like I would have wanted to be treated. Even when I was at the most vulnerable state, when I was at the core, I'd hear somebody coming in with all this stack of papers. My head would be hurting, and I'd be like, okay, what are we doing? They're here nervous as fuck, not even knowing what they're signing. I'd be like, okay, well, let's take a deep breath because you know what? We're going to learn together because we're going to see what we're going to do. We're going to figure it out, but you got to calm down because you know what? You're making you're taking a big step. So I'm proud of you for taking that huge step because not everybody decides to get divorced and go through with it with however many kids you have. And that alone shifted that person's whole perspective and they left happy from there, positive. And they would come like months later, it would feel like days later, but they'd come a few months later and be like, I'm finally divorced. Or, oh, guess what? I got my kids, or whatever the situation was. The best one was when I saw somebody that was using, they came in, they were like, I just got out of jail and My wife has my kids. She divorced me when I was in jail. And I just found out she lied in her test. And I got to take them kids away because she lied and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So what do I have to do? I was like, all right, man, well, you tell me. What do you, I was like, you know what, man, first of all, you got to calm down because he was really like hyper, sweating and shit. He's like, they told me to come here as soon as I got out, and I got out 7 days ago. I was like, okay, well, that was a first fail because it's already 7 days. But anyways, he's like, what do I got to do? I was like, okay, man, well, first you need to calm down because you're making me anxious. I was like, you tell me, what is it that you want to do? Well, I got to take my kids away. Okay. Well, what do you have to do? Honestly, when this guy came up to me, I was probably feeling sassy. I don't know, but I didn't even realize what I was saying until after I said that. But I just gave him the same energy. I was like, well, what do you want to do, man? You tell me, what do you got to do? Well, I want to take the kids away. Well, how is that going to help you? Is that what you really want to do? Well, no, because my kids are going to end up in the system. Okay, so then what do you need to do, man? I literally kept asking the same question about 10 times. He's like, well, and he answered all his questions. He said, well, I got to get clean. I was like, okay. Well, yeah. He's like, because if I take them away right now, well, they're not going to be with their mom and they're going to be in the system. And I don't want them to be in the system. Okay, man. So then what do you got to do? Well, I got to get clean. Okay. And then he looks at me and he starts bawling his eyes out. He's like, I just got out of a meeting right now and I feel so lost. I feel like nobody hears me. He's like, I feel so alone. I'm like, dude, we all go through it. I got you. Maybe that's why I ended up helping you today. I hear you, man. You already know what you need to do. You came here asking me what you need to do, and you already had the answer. It felt amazing to see him months later, once I wasn't even working there anymore. He was already gaining weight. You can see he was like doing better. He sees me, he's like, man, he's like, how are you? Like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. Like thank you so much. Honestly, that felt amazing. That's a feeling that I can't even explain. It feels good, like, to go on and do these silly videos that I've been doing for months now. And there's days that I really don't want to because I don't have the energy to do them. But I'm like, you know what? I know that today probably somebody's feeling the same. And I know that there's been days that I have felt like shit and I go on social media and I want to be able to relate with whatever it is that I'm scrolling through. And the last thing that I want to see is how everybody's doing better than me, right? Not because I want the like worse for them, but because it reminds me of how far I am from that. So I get my cute little butt and I come over here and I do my videos because I love you guys and because I'm showing up for that little girl inside. And if I'm able to show up and be consistent when I'm somebody that has no consistency whatsoever, then I believe that you can do that. Whatever situation you're going through is never too big for a solution. Because at the end of the day, when you do or take that step, the fact that you're acknowledging that there is something that you want to do, or the fact that you know you're not having a good time, that's already a step and that's already a pull. We all, every family has a black sheep. Think about it. Every family has somebody that just doesn't stay quiet, that is always going to be the, como, el imprudente, no? That's me. I'm going to say how it is, how it is. Exactly. And you know what? Pero you sometimes need to listen to yourself say it out loud. Porque a veces lo estamos diciendo en nuestra cabeza and it sounds worse when you say it in your head than when you say it out loud. And it loses that strong fear of it, you know? I love talking to people. Had this older lady venting the other day. And the more she talked, the more she realized that she didn't need me to make a decision, that she just needed to hear herself. Because she laid out all the pros and cons. She was very aware of the pros and cons, and she realized that she wasn't choosing herself. Always think about your kids, guys. The choices that you make are the same thing that your kids are going to take, and that they're going to use that as a guidance to make their own choices. So don't ever question your daughter why she stayed too long in a bad relationship if you're doing the same. If you're showing her that. If you don't want to do it for yourself, then do it with the idea that you're doing it for your kids. But think about it. You cannot take care of your kids. You cannot be a great example for your kids if you don't pick yourself first. Because your kids, they were fucking feeding from your umbilical cord, girls. They know you. Just like you know when there's something wrong with them or you can sense it in your heart. Mamas, it's fucking two ways. And that's the gift that you have as a female, which is your intuition. Use it. That gut feeling you get is not a fucking stuck fart. No es un pinche pedo atorado, compas. When you see somebody and your stomach turns, you didn't eat something bad. It's not the flu. That means that that person in another lifetime fucked you over. And your body is literally trying to say, hey guys, run, motherfucker, run. It's not here. And the worst part is when somebody fails you, at least in my experience now, I don't get mad at the person. I get mad at myself because I knew they were going to fail me and I still fucking did it. I felt it in my gut, but I made every excuse in the book to not believe it. And that's what we do all the time because we want to keep ourselves from that pain, right? But isn't it more painful to wonder what you could have been? If you already know me from years back, I'm like the most negative person you could ever meet. I don't go to church, but I have a good relationship with Jesus Christ. He's my homeboy. And he knows. He knows I don't gotta go to his house to kick it. He can come to mine. And he knows that my beliefs are not like the ones that they're teaching at church. I don't fear him. I respect him because I am part of him. And if he has those powers, guess what, boo boo? I got them too. We all do. Learn about Maria Magdalena. You need to embrace your femininity as a male, which means you need to be able to recognize your emotions because you can be a buff motherfucker. You can think you can kick everybody's ass, but I'll play you a match on feelings and emotions and accepting your wrongs and how much you want to bet I'll win. Because a guy that cannot accept his mistakes and that shows anger instead of understanding. I make mistakes all the time, guys. There's many times that I don't have compassion or understanding, but I learn from that. I observe that and I say, okay, well, what made me snap in this conversation? It has nothing to do with the people that you react to. So why do we always take out our anger at the wrong people? I never had a break in between girlfriends. And now that I wanted to be better, I realized how important that was. Because you know what? We're just replacing the faces, but you're doing the same shit. Your same timeline, my same expiration date. So something had to change, right? And you know what? You're not going to get out of the same situation if you keep making the same choices. You have the gift of choosing, guys. Use it. If you want your kids to accomplish whatever it is that they fucking want in life, they're going to do it if they see you do it. Do it. Monkey see, monkey do, guys. For whatever reason I decided to do this because like I said, I wanted to nurture my inner child and be there for you guys. Like I would have wanted somebody to be there for me. And I found that it's creating amazing connections with people that I never even thought I was going to connect with. And it's also clearing the path from connections that I needed to clear from, that I needed to detox myself from. And I hope that you guys take that step. I hope that in all my shame and embarrassment that I share with you guys, You find some sort of comfort into saying, you know what, I'm going to be okay. But really believe it, because you are going to be okay. And I'm not telling you in a sense of like, oh, you're going to be okay. No, like, you really are going to be okay. You just, the reason why it's taking so long is because you're doubting yourself. When you create doubt, you mess up the whole fucking focus. Find something that brings you purpose, that makes you happy, and that also helps others. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. You don't have to share, expose yourselves. What I'm doing is to show you that if this little nerd can do it and can handle the fucking hate, then so can you. Practice the wise words of Cardi B and tell yourself every morning, right after you shower, be like, God, thank you. You know, in the morning when you wake up and you're taking your lagañas off, be like, God, thank you for making me the baddest bitch alive. Cute little aura. I don't know. I'm just a vibe. And remember, you're a bad bitch and you got anxiety. People call me rude because I ain't letting them try me, saying I'm a hoe because I'm in love with my body. Yeah. Listen to some fucking Megan Thee Stallion. Listen to some Cardi B, some Doja, some Missy Elliott, if you're old school like me. Listen to some fucking Joan Jett. Music is always going to heal you guys. Frequencies. Learn about frequencies. We're all fucking energy. This person that you're seeing here is just a fucking vessel. Our true form is pure consciousness. Think about it. You cannot control somebody that's conscious. Can't bullshit a bullshitter, right? I'm not here trying to dig into conspiracy theories. Simply look at the files and they talk about all this. Look into the government's website. They talk spent money on your fucking of your taxes to discover psychic powers and abilities. The Montauk Project, where Stranger Things is based on. All that shit. And then they hit it. Why? Because whenever you're conscious, whenever you connect with your pineal gland, whenever you're aware of your choices and you choose yourself, you're unstoppable. You're creating your own fucking timeline, literally. And if you don't believe me, then shame on you. Then I'm sorry that you're comfortable in this nonsense of a world. But our true purpose find is to heal from those wounds that you have because you chose to go through them and to help others who are stuck in the old versions of you because you already know how it is and you already know what you needed. And to always nurture that inner child. When you nurture that inner child, believe me, everything else just comes with it because you'll become like a magnet. Happiness attracts. And I just want you guys to find true happiness and to pass it down to your kids, to your grandkids. Because you know what? Ya basta. Like, I'm tired of people staying quiet. And if you need me to say it, then I'll fucking say it for you. I'll stand up for you guys. I don't give a fuck. Se dijo y se tenía que decir, dijo el pollito. I love you guys. Be safe. I'll try to jump on YouTube more often. Send me a message, leave me a comment, let me know what topic you want me to touch next and what time works best for you. Send me a message, Vero, if you want me to hit something else. Whatever you guys want. I do about 2 lives on TikTok and then I'm gonna start. Cause I don't know, Facebook, I like Facebook, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna try YouTube. I'm gonna try YouTube and Instagram now. Cause I feel so old when I don't know how to use shit. And let me tell you, I don't know how to use shit. Se bañan, se limpian la cola, por favor, porque hasta acá huele. Y no fui yo. Y tampoco fue la Linda. And Linda, close your legs. I said it wasn't you. I'm kidding.
Why you lying?
I love you. I love you, Vero. Thank you for watching. Thank you, guys. Así no, I love you, Vero. No, I'm kidding. No, but I love you guys. I love you, Vero. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you guys want to talk about next. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.